Since Christians don't like to research, let's start with the easiest tool on earth. Google. I literally typed, "Is there any archaeological evidence Jesus was real?" And the top results say the same thing archaeologists have been saying for decades. No archaeological discovery has ever confirmed the existence of Jesus. No archaeologist, Christian or non-Christian, has ever confirmed Jesus was real. And the reason that statement keeps showing up everywhere is simple. Because it's 100% true, not emotional, not anti-religion, just historical fact. Here's what archaeology, the most objective science on earth, confirms. No archaeologist, not one, from any religion or background, has ever found physical evidence of Jesus. Not a bone, not a tomb, not an inscription, not a sandal, not a cup, not a piece of wood, not a home, not a verified disciple artifact, not a single item connected to his life. Meanwhile, archaeologists have confirmed pharaohs, kings of Cush, Hebrew prophets, Babylonian kings, Roman emperors, priests, merchants, regular citizens, but the man who fed thousands, raised the dead, and shook the earth? Nothing. Even leading Christian and Jewish archaeologists say it openly. Israel Finkelstein, William Dever, Herschel Shanks, John Dominic Crossan, Bart Ehrman, all agree there is no archaeological evidence directly tied to Jesus, only stories written long after the fact. Christians say Jesus was famous, huge crowds followed him, but archaeology says there is no trace of him or his followers. Christians say his miracles shook the land, but history says no record of it. Christians say Rome crucified him, but Rome says we documented everything, except that. Rome documented minor rebellions, tax disputes, temple repairs, weather events, trials, executions, birth records, but somehow missed a man raising the dead, feeding thousands, healing crowds, causing a solar eclipse, resurrecting from his tomb. Make it make sense. Here is what every scholar agrees on. 1. No one wrote about Jesus while he was alive. Not a single writer, historian, priest, governor, soldier, philosopher, merchant, or eyewitness. 0 contemporary records. 2. The Gospels were written decades later, in Greek, not Aramaic. Mark approximately 70 CE. Matthew approximately 80 to 90 CE. Luke approximately 90 CE. John approximately 100 to 110 CE. All written long after Jesus supposedly died, by people who never met him, in a language he didn't speak. 3. Josephus and Tacitus don't prove Jesus. They mention Christians, and the Josephus passage was altered by Christian monks. 4. Nazareth existing doesn't prove Jesus existed. Troy existed, Achilles didn't. A city doesn't validate a character. 5. No archaeologist in Israel claims Jesus' bones or tomb have been found. Even Christian scientists admit it. Here's the part that wakes people up. If Jesus lived, taught, healed, preached, and resurrected in the Middle East, why didn't the Middle East become Christian? Why didn't Judea, Galilee, Nazareth, Capernaum, Bethlehem become Christian first? Why did the message avoid his hometown and his people, but explode in Africa, the Caribbean, the Americas, Latin America, the Pacific Islands? Why? Because you cannot colonize people who already know the truth. So the message had to be spread to people who had no Hebrew background, no Aramaic understanding, no knowledge of Judean history, no familiarity with first-century politics, no access to original sources. Christianity spread where people were colonized, not where Jesus supposedly lived. Back then, 95% of people were illiterate. Magic was called witchcraft. Anyone performing supernatural acts would be executed. If Jesus was real and performing miracles every day, why wasn't he labeled a witch like the women later killed for far less? Because the miracle stories came generations later, not during his life. They found no bones in Bethlehem, Nazareth, Jerusalem, Galilee, Judea, not Jesus, not Mary, not Joseph, not the disciples, not one follower, not one tomb, not one trace, but they found your ancestors' bones, 50,000 years older than Rome, 100,000 years older than Israel, 150,000 years older than Greece, 200,000 years older than Christianity, 300,000 years older than the Bible, meaning your ancestors are scientifically older than the religion used to control you. That is factual. When a man is real, history remembers him. Archaeology preserves him. His people record him. His hometown honors him. His language contains him. His culture documents him. But with Jesus, no archaeology, no artifacts, no writings from his lifetime, no physical evidence, no trace in his homeland, a story written decades later, a name created in Greek, a religion built in Europe, and spread through colonization. No archaeologist has ever proven him real. No artifact has ever supported his existence. And the only places that embraced the story were the places colonizers targeted. That's not divine truth. That's historical programming.